It's Monday and time for the Back to Business podcast, featuring Calgary's industry leaders. Welcome today's show host, Kim Hayden.
All right, today it's all about real estate. Don't you love real estate? But better yet, here today, we have somebody with all the insights and answers as to your investment. So Natasha Phipps is here with the Phipps Real Estate Group. Plus, she is the CEO of WealthShare Real Estate Trust. And she's going to explain how you too can invest in real estate and own real estate. So stay tuned. This is going to be insightful. But first, our land acknowledgement. We here at the Calgary Petroleum Club, in a spirit of reconciliation, honor and acknowledge that the land on which we learn, work, and live is Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. This place is a traditional homeland for the First Nations and Métis peoples, and today we all are part of this treaty land. All right, I'm excited to dive into this conversation, Natasha, because I don't have the opportunity often to talk with real estate agents that look at it beyond just the next residential house resale. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just a totally different game.
Absolutely.
I want to know about the investment side of things, because we're in wild times.
Yeah.
And how you're navigating all that. But if you could first introduce yourself and give us just a little soundbite as to how you got where you are today. And then we're going to go and start unpacking what you do.
Sure, absolutely. So thanks for having me. I got into real estate and became pretty addicted pretty quickly. But the first thing that got me interested in real estate was my mom was in the banking industry for Scotiabank for many years. And when I first moved out of my house at 18, she didn't want me renting. And she really broke down the importance of a mortgage and having your own property. And by the time I was in university, I had bought and sold many properties. I was very lucky to be able to start this quite early. And through my university years, I was making more money in my real estate just on the side than I was going to university, working full-time in the oil industry. I was working for Nexen at the time. And as soon as I finished my degree from the University of Lethbridge with a major in marketing, I got my real estate license with the intention of wanting to focus on investment real estate first and foremost. So that's kind of how I got started, and I haven't looked back since. I was also very lucky at the time in the market. You could almost not make money. I got lucky for sure, but it sparked that passion for wanting to take control of our own finances, share what I was learning along the way, and that's kind of been the thread through my entire career up until now.
I love how you say that it was different back then. What years? Yes. What were the years that you were doing that?
So 2000, I bought my first property. So over the next kind of 5-6 years from there, I did really well. And that didn't continue, but I did really well during that time. So yes, it was a very different time to get mortgages.
Oh yeah.
Like the lending environment.
The no qualifying.
It was so easy.
I got my license in 99, and I can say unequivocally, having a 35-year-old son and a 26-year-old son and a 23-year-old daughter, it's very, very different times.
Very.
So we're going to actually circle back around that a little bit later, because I'd like to touch on that as to how in today's world, young people, so people under 30, can have those same opportunities, maybe just with a different lens.
Yes.
But I'd like to dive into what you do, because when people think real estate, like real estate agents are kind of up there for a lot of people, the same as lawyers and TV evangelists, right? So break down what you do, and then I want to kind of demystify the time you put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do two things now. I run a real estate team here in Calgary called Phipps Real Estate Group with my partner, Andrea Tessier, and we do residential, commercial, and property management services here in Calgary and the area. So that's for individuals who want to actually buy real estate, buy, sell, invest in actual hard assets. And the reality is, it's getting harder and harder to do that for anyone at any age. It's getting extremely challenging to do that. And with prices going up, and also confidence is like people are nervous. So that side of it is certainly getting more challenging. Several years back, I started a private REIT called WealthShare, sort of accidentally, but it was of the fact of people wanting to invest with me. I have built a reputation of really always trying to do the right thing, always trying to give the right advice in terms of what I would do with my money. And in Calgary, that it's not the same year to year, kind of the choices you should be making. And so with WealthShare now, people can invest passively with us, with our group, with as little as $5,000. So I'm now helping people kind of build the passive investment as well as the active investment in their full portfolio. And I think people should ideally have both.
I think that's interesting. I want to bring that to the forefront with as little as $5,000 because I know that most investments are $50,000 minimum buy-in.
Exactly.
So really, you're gearing towards a younger demographic, so it's more attainable.
Absolutely. So, younger, but also new to investing passively, possibly into private securities. I've had groups reach out to me, and you need $1 million to invest. So there's enough opportunities for the already wealthy. So how can we create those similar opportunities for people just getting started, the younger generation, or people who are trying to plan for their retirement?
Yeah.
And because we accept cash or registered funds, you can use your RSPs or TFSA. And in this country, you can't use your own RSP to buy your own real estate, but you can invest your RSP in real estate. And that's something we do a lot of education and training around. And our younger people, it's a way to almost make your money grow quicker for 5 years with us, then use that money to go buy your own property because they have to be really forward thinking right now to be able to get into their own actual home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm helping my daughter get just a little duplex.
Yeah.
But she won't be living in there. She's staying at home and renting the duplex.
Good.
You know, it's like, good on you. Let's find one that's the bones are solid and it's ugly.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's the way to do it. When we look at let's demystify a little bit around the investment timelines.
Yeah.
Let's talk timelines. And then after timelines, I want to go to why you think, from your perspective, we have such a crush or lack of real estate. Mm-hmm. So let's start investment timelines. What can people expect that's realistic? I'm so tired of all these videos. I'm literally actually purging a lot of the social media off my phone, and I don't, because you know what, you can't do a month's worth of social media that's of any quality in 1 hour, and you can't make a 300 times return with just 5 hours a week.
Yeah,
it's just these things are not real.
No.
So let's talk about return.
Yeah, and they're not real. So I totally agree with you. The thing about real estate too is it's not a get rich quick thing. It's really about time in market. And you have to be thinking long term. But then once you start thinking that way, you see the benefits quite quickly. But it is something that you have to be committed to, 5, 10, 20 years down the road, ideally, is what you're thinking about.
And I think we're talking about a re-education because we have an entire 2 generations, 28 years, 30 years of HGTV, flip or flop. No, think about it. It totally changed the real estate dynamic and how people viewed real estate. And I believe it's part of the reason we have so many issues within the finance space around real estate. It's people have over leveraged. Yep. And they're not looking at. They're going, oh, if I do this, I can make $100,000 in 24 months, and I'm going to get out. What do you say to people like that come to you because they maybe they're 27 and they've watched their mom do it?
Yeah. Here's the thing about flippers and flipping. You can make money flipping, but you need to be doing dozens of projects, and you're taking an average over all of them, likely. you cannot just do one project with no experience and expect to do well. Often it's very high borrowing costs. Your carrying costs are very long. Often people over renovate and spend too much money, and they often don't want to listen to the advice of the professionals, and then they find the professionals who will give them the advice that they want. And those people just want to sell you a home, unfortunately, or they're not maybe investment focused or investment minded. So we give you the advice of what we would do with our own money. And certainly, if you're flipping, doing projects, you need to have that skill set to apply, or at least the capital to hire the right skill set. And oftentimes people are missing one or the other. If they're just kind of thinking about one project, one at a time, they're going to make all
I'm
this
an
money.
expert.
Yeah.
I've watched HGTV my whole life.
That's right. That's right.
I know.
Fun to watch.
Exactly. And it's fascinating what a simple coat of paint will do.
True.
I can't tell you the number of clients in my real estate career where they wouldn't even go and look at a house because they thought it was ugly.
Yeah.
And I would drag them in with paint swatches. And I say, listen, this home is $60,000 under current market value because it's ugly. Mm-hmm. Here's your paint swatches. Here's the flooring swatches. Here's a timeline. This is what it will take. And this is what the home could be valued at when we look at the other comparables to this home that just sold. And it's fascinating. Why don't you think more people put the time in to get their home ready for sale? Because that was actually one of my mandates. Every single home I sold was staged, because I would tell them, do you want to be the deal or the reveal?
Exactly.
Come on.
That's a good one.
We're HGTV. I literally have a bone to pick with HGTV, but but that's, and I said, if you're looking to give away money, I'm more than happy to take it. Just sign the house over to me, and any profit I make over the minimum dollar you're going to make, I'll keep. Yeah. I'll do it.
Exactly.
And it's amazing how fast people get. Best line I ever heard was this older couple. And I had sold their previous house, second agent in, because they were unable to sell it. And it was all that seafoam green.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I said, okay, well, we have to, edit the space a bit, and you need to repaint.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, we're not going to do that. Older couple, right?
Yeah.
I've been painting all my life. And they were tradespeople.
Oh, geez. So
Yeah,
they had
and
the
they had
skill.
seafoam. They had the skill. And I said, okay, you've been on the market for 3 months, and you're moving into the next house. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to carry 2 houses, or do you want to get this sold? Do you want to give it away and that's your term, or do you want to make fair market value?
Yeah.
And I said, just take it all to Grage, the entire house. Then they called me 4 years later from the house, and it was sitting, and now they were desperate because they had bought into a retirement facility, and they were taking possession in 6 weeks. And they had already had their house on. Guess what color it was?
Great.
No.
Green.
It was the seafoam green again.
Same
like,
green.
seriously, we talked about this. And again, second agent in.
Wow.
And
Didn't learn the first time.
No. And then when I walked in, he goes, I'm not going to paint. And I said, okay, well, we can sell it for this price.
Yeah,
Here.
that's right.
That's your choice. Either you
Yes.
sell for this price, or you bring it up to what is industry average.
Absolutely.
You got your choice.
Yeah. Paint,
I
fixtures.
am not making the rules here.
Exactly.
I'm just interpreting the terms. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I just navigate it. I think that's where a lot of people do not understand what a real estate agent does. Real estate agents do not set the market.
No, that's right. Yeah.
They interpret the market so that the owners or investors,
Yeah.
right? We're not out there on, at the TSX, we're not buying, we don't own all the land. That's Brookfield's job. We're literally just interpreters,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
So speaking of Brookfield, speaking of land, let's talk about how we've gotten ourselves into a predicament that was being talked about back in 1999 when I got my real estate license, the shortage of housing. Why do you think we have allowed this to go on? Like, it was spoken about at the NARS Expo that I went to which was the first one I went to? I want to say New Orleans. It was in New Orleans or Las Vegas or something like that. And it was actually an entire topic. This is like 2000. So I got my license 99. The first NAR I went to was in 2000. They were talking about it. Why is it such a shocker now? And why do you think we've gotten to this point? What do you think we could do better, differently on a ground level? We can't control government.
Yeah.
We can't control any of those other things. What can we control?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, and obviously being in the investment space, it's like what can we do with the tools that we have at our disposal, right? So investors who are buying properties and adding more density to existing properties is a great way to add more housing to an already established community without having to get political or having to get, right in there with things. But policy, unfortunately, is a big problem. I think we're very fortunate here in Calgary, though. Developments push through very fast here compared to other Canadian cities. That is a major issue just at the municipality level in terms of development timelines and levies and the cost that it's taking for these developers to get projects off the ground. So that's something we are very lucky with here in Alberta in comparison. But it's really thinking about, as investors, what can we do? And there is a lot you can do with current legislation, particularly here in Alberta, in terms of increasing density. So that's a great way to start with the policies that are already in place.
So speaking of increasing density, the R2.
Yeah.
What are some of the most creative solutions that you've seen that people should consider in order to increase density but still respect the residential community?
My favorite project is duplex to fourplex conversion. The side-by-side duplex, they're in a lot of established communities. A lot of them already have illegal basement suites in them. So it's just a matter of making them legal and safe as they should have been, to begin with. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But it's not that big of a deal to make these things legal now with the current opportunity we have. And it's a positive thing for tenants to have legal suites, and it's a positive thing for property value. You want to bring your property's value up and have that active appreciation. So that from a residential standpoint, that is a really, really great way to be able to add that density and help the community.
I spoke to an agent out in, I want to say Waterloo, or I can't remember. It's out in Ontario, and the entire city had already done their blanket R2, and people were buying up all the corner lots, which the corner lots can be a challenge for resale because you got a lot to shovel.
Yeah, people love them or hate them.
Love them or hate them. If you got teenagers, you're going, yes, place for all the kids' cars. If you got babies, you're going, I am not shoveling that. But they were turning the house from a single to a fourplex because it's an older community with all the big bungalows, and then they put in a garage in the back with a suite above. No, it was it had a suite above and it had something
5
else.
doors.
Yeah, they were taking one lot, a single door to 5 doors.
Wow.
Without any impact to the neighborhood because they ensured that the back had parking. I think that's the biggest challenge is when we talk about the city, people, parking, and poop, the 3 Ps of the pain within running a city. So, and parking is a huge equation.
Yeah.
Right? So in my old stopping grounds, Mackenzie Town, over in Prestwick, we have a lot of 0 lot lines. We're talking these are 19 wide and 20 wide. Yeah. Barely can park a car in your front yard, right? So turning that into 2 doors versus a single door. And now you have, statistically speaking, Alberta has one of the highest vehicle registrations per capita globally.
We love our cars here.
Yes, we love our cars. And that's a global thing. It's crazy.
It's
and I got that stat from, it's a few years old, but it was from a major car wash company.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe
so
it.
they go, oh, Alberta's a good one. If it wasn't for the fact that it got so cold and car washes, you literally have a quarter of the year, you're not using them. But so my concern is if I've only got a 20 wide front for parking, and I now have statistically 3 adults, 3 vehicles.
Yeah. It's a huge
Do you
concern.
think that maybe our parking equation, like the size of the lot, the widths of the lots, should have come into the equation of the R2?
I do. Yeah, because if there's nowhere to park on the land. Now, in that community, though, there is also those carriage houses.
They have the granny suites. And the granny suites are only on, so the granny suites, when they were developed, they have to be backing onto multi-residential, except for, that was Inverness. Inverness, you'll notice all the carriage suites only back onto multi-residential. And then Prestwick, the carriage suites are on the main strip.
Yeah.
And the house is backing onto the main street, right? And that's the only places you'll find it. And then over in Elgin, they brought in the other one. So McKenzie-town actually is award-winning. It actually
awesome
did win a global
community.
award for a planned community, and it was hard to get off the ground.
Yeah.
It was hard. I remember
can imagine.
Rob Hansberger was the representative for McKenzie-town because Karma was the original developer before they sold to Brookfield. And that's why, because you know that New Brighton and Copperfield were both part of that parcel initially. So High Street was to go down between these villages. So initially, I think it was designed as a 7-village or 12-village community.
Yeah.
And because this concept was so different, it was really hard to get off the ground.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
And all the traffic circles. Some people hate those too. I've had clients that go, I will not live there because of the traffic circle.
Oh, I'm telling you. Well, my oldest got ran over in the traffic circle. And we finally we were on all the committees to get the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So let's talk committees and how people who invest, maybe they don't have the capital to buy a property.
Yeah.
Is investing the next best opportunity?
I would say so. We believe in diversification in your investments. So we're not saying invest all your money with us by any means. We believe we should be a sliver in your portfolio. I think right now, with the way the world is a little bit, hard assets are kind of the way to go right now.
Yep.
And people with hard assets are breathing a little easier maybe than those that may not have it. But what we want to be is the easy way to be able to get into that space, because we think for a long-term approach, a long-term investment, real estate is a great opportunity. So that's kind of our vision in a nutshell. And then also people love to know where their investment is going. So you can drive right by the buildings your money is invested in. It's right here in Alberta.
Exactly.
Like I've had people take selfies right out front and they're investors and they go, this is so cool. We have our tenants investing with us now.
Oh, very cool.
That is also
that's got to feel good.
Yes, like we are really passionate about people just like taking that step, right?
Because
Take the
not
baby
everybody
step.
has a mother like you had.
That's 100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
When we look, and I love my stats. I love knowing what the truth is because numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Right? Everything else can be twisted or altered or have a perception of, because we all live in a perception. You and I will each walk away with a different perception of this conversation.
Sure.
You, the listener, will have a different perception of this conversation. But numbers are numbers.
True. Yeah.
Right? And that's what I love, how you're actually working in both spaces. You're creating the homeowner opportunity perception of what their life can be.
Yeah.
And then you're creating a numbers facility. Are your investors, do you have a lot of young investors? Because I think a lot of young people are a little lost right now. Like the world has changed on them so radically since COVID.
It absolutely. So we have a mix of investors in WealthShare. Half are kind of new, doing their first couple of investments. And then the other half are more established, higher net worth people who just want to park their money. They want to protect their capital and they just want to have it sit here.
Yeah.
We target a 12% annualized return to our investors as well. So be able to put your RSPs to work and target a 12% return is pretty good compared to what many people may be getting at other investments. And so those are the two kind of main buckets that we have. And it's a similar goal, really. They just want growth of their money. But the value proposition we have is on the education standpoint. So last year alone, I think we did 18 webinars and in-person events, even here at the club, where we're offering free education of like things you just might not know, and you don't know where to go, and you don't know what to ask even.
Because there's a lot of disinformation out there. The
Absolutely.
get rich quick disinformation of edutainment.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's edutainment of misinformation. I'm so over the bait and switch.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fascinating. I've had a couple really great conversations with people between the ages of 27 and 32 just over this last few weeks, because our company is now in an expansion mode with Resilient New Media. And so I'm looking for a true communications officer, somebody that can help our clients, can navigate, how do you do proper boost? How do we leverage the crap out of YouTube? Like, these are things that we need to have.
Yeah.
It was fascinating, some of the responses I got from these people between 27 and 32, and that was the range. And I spoke to 7 different, and all women, saying, I'm tired of just being a consultant, of just being, somebody. I want a job. I want a place to call home. I want that consistency.
Right.
I want to know where that I'm going to get paid X amount of dollars a week, and that I am valued where I'm at.
That's huge.
And by the way, I'd like to have benefits. So,
Yes, that's
and
a
I
big
found
thing.
somebody who does great benefits in Calgary. So we're going to have benefits. I'm super excited because we have been running that whole consultant thing, I think, which is a hangover from things.
Yes.
But I think it's interesting. And that's where I think what your model of having that attainable investment level is, it literally coincides a lot with that mindset of, you know what, I've done the fractional, the consulting, this. I really just want peace of mind of consistency.
Yeah.
And I think that if I can save over 6 months $5,000 and put that in here, and then in the next 6 months I can put that next $5,000,
Exactly.
and then I do that again in 18 months, I will have enough money working for me that I'll be able to either borrow against it to buy my own little condo and get out of because a lot of people are in the rental space, and they're going to remain in the rental space if they don't find a plan to get them out,
Exactly.
right?
And not everyone has parents that are helping them, right?
Exactly.
It's either you have parents or you have to go find it on your own, and that's really, really challenging.
And a lot of the parents were financially decimated by COVID.
Yes, that's a very good point too.
There's a lot of people that literally got their knees taken out on them. So now their kids who maybe grew up a bit more affluent are watching their parents selling off their cars, their land, their house, right? Because the parents don't know how to flip the dialogue,
Yeah.
right? They don't know how to flip all that. So with having somebody like yourself coming in and doing these talks and saying, it's not a miracle, it's just management.
It's just the basic fundamentals of real estate, really, right? There's no magic sauce out there. There's no secret, but it's doing real estate well and understanding why real estate works is really important. A lot of people think we invest in real estate just for the cash flow.
No.
We invest because the bank is giving us money to leverage. That is the largest benefit of real estate beyond other assets. Is you can't repeat that really easily, whether it's your primary home or an investment property. So we're teaching that everything we're applying, and teaching them, they can apply on their own investment one day, hopefully. But yeah, we came out of the gate with that. I think we were the first in the country to offer something like that I'm aware of. Now a few others have definitely gone that way as well with a lower minimum. And what we find too is then people continue to invest because they're building trust with us, they're learning, they're seeing good returns, and we're teaching them about how to analyze other opportunities and what questions to ask. And that is the empowerment that we're looking for.
Absolutely. And, food, shelter, education, and medication. And now information. Those are the 5 pillars of a human being's life, no matter where you live globally. Those are the 5 things that you will need. And to be able to say that you've got a piece of what is essential. Because, I mean, most people don't even realize that during COVID, real estate was deemed an essential service. So, people could still navigate that, right? Because, there were people during COVID, people that were seniors or had to go into a home, or there were things that were happening and people had to move real estate. And imagine if it wasn't deemed
Absolutely.
a necessary service, right? Yeah. So, this is great. So where do you meet most of your clients?
So the majority of we have just under 300 investors in the WealthShare community right now. And a lot of it has been through kind of the network I've built over the almost last 20 years. So I go to a lot of conferences and events, and I do a lot of public speaking and a lot of training, and have built up a pretty good network in that space. So that has been predominantly where our network has been built from. A lot of our investors are active investors as well. They're buying a condo or a house to rent out, but they can't go buy that building on their own. So Correct. They want to invest in multifamily assets, but it's a really big jump to go from a single family home to now buying a building.
Absolutely.
And they don't maybe want to go down all that.
Because it's got a whole
new world.
Yeah, a whole new world. Absolutely.
It's a whole new world, and it's extremely challenging now to do that on your own with the lending environment and the requirements, and it's only going to get harder. So this is a way to get in that different asset class without doing it alone. And then because of our structure, we also have a high level of transparency. So we have to undergo full financial audits every single year. We have to do our monthly filings with the Security Commission, any province that we raise capital from. So there's a lot of oversight to give people that comfort as well. Whereas if you and I just did a deal or something together, we would just kind of be working as we go, right?
Yep.
So in this case, you have a predictable level of transparency that you will see year after year as well, while making it accessible.
That's fabulous. And I think right now everybody's just craving transparency,
yes,
security, positivity. Yes. And it's awesome that you're bringing that as opportunity to people. Mm-hmm. So real quickly, I'd love for you to share with us when you initially heard of the Petroleum Club, because we just talked about networking. Give us your thoughts on coming into the club and then hosting events here, and just give us a little bit of that. And then if you have anything coming up or where we can find you, I would love that information also.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so funny because over the last 10 years, I've done a lot of events in Calgary, all different types of venues. And it was like, it would be nice to just have one place that we're just doing everything at, because it always feels like you're starting over again with every event. And so I saw some ads a few years ago that they were kind of looking for new membership. So I just sent a Facebook inquiry and said, listen, I'm not in the petroleum sector. I'm in real estate, and this is what we're looking for. And I had no idea that at the time that you didn't have to be in the petroleum sector to be here. And so it's been a really great space for us to be able to do all kinds of events. We do our annual investor socials here where we announce our returns. We did 12.61% last year, by the way.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Thank you. So we do our smaller, more intimate events here. And then this Thursday, which is probably not going to be by the time this is released, but we're hosting our mastermind type of events, which we'll do here twice a year.
Oh, excellent. So, and when's the next one after this Thursday?
It'll be in the fall. So we'll do a spring and a fall one.
And what is typically the name of it?
We call it just the Spring Mastermind or Fall Mastermind, hosted by WealthShare.
WealthShare.
Or Phipps Real Estate Group, both.
Yeah.
And our goal of those events is to educate. So we bring in guest speakers, and we talk economics and strategy and opportunity and what not to maybe be doing right now, in our opinion. So we do a lot of that. And then we do monthly online events as well.
Excellent.
So there's always something going on with us, especially between the two companies, Phipps Real Estate Group and WealthShare. Yeah. And we collaborate a lot between the two as well.
And education's key. If you're going to scale, you need to, if you're going to survive, you need to be networking.
Yes.
Both digitally and physically. Very important, because when somebody meets you, you're already past that cold call space.
Very true.
Yeah. And you need to be educating and, really getting in there and sharing information.
Yeah. Building trust.
Yeah.
Really
absolutely.
is what it's all about. I didn't mention where you can find us. So I'm on every social media platform. You can look my name up anywhere. WealthShare.ca is where you can find info about the actual fund. And then phippsgroup.ca is for our real estate group here in Calgary. I also host a private Facebook group called Calgary Real Estate Investing. And it's a great place to ask questions. There's about 5,000 people in there or something. And It's a great way to meet other people and also be in tune with everything we have going on. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Easy to
you
find
are a fountain of knowledge.
Oh, thank you. So are you.
I really appreciate your time.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on the Back to Business podcast. Be sure to visit calpeteclub.com, CALPETECLUB.com, to find out more about upcoming events, networking opportunities, and membership. If you are not already a valued member at the CPC, where we are proudly connecting and supporting Calgary's business leaders.